Hi guys, Long White Mane back here again. The channel where if you can grow your hair down to your butt, you'll never have a bad hair day. I want you to welcome my little friend Beady right there, sleeping on the bed. Usually he's under the blanket, but I guess it's too warm. This video is going to be about how to self-care when you are bipolar. And by self-care, I don't mean lack of medication. By self-care, I mean taking strategies to take care of yourself between doctor visits, between therapy visits, and hopefully, I've used more than one of these since 1993. They all work really well. Um, I'm going to read you these tips from reachout.com. They are an Australian organization that deals with mental illness, and I will link them down below in the information section, as well as suicide hotlines and anything else I might find pertinent to this video. Okay. You've been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and lots of things are going through your mind. What do I do? Um, it's been a while since I've been diagnosed, but I know that there was only one or two psychiatrists that actually suggested these little tips for self-care, and they're just so important. The first one that Reach.com lists is monitor your mood. Okay, some of us are rapid cyclers, and some of us are not. Some of us are just depressed more. The bipolar 2s, bipolar 1s are more manic. Um, so what you need to do is seriously write down what your moods are for that day. Run down to the dollar store, pick you up a little calendar, and one of those that the whole month is open on the page, and just how do you feel today on the 1st? I feel stable. I don't feel, whatever. Some of us may need something more elaborate. Like if you're a rapid cycler, you may need one of those calendars that has not only the month and the day and the year, but the hour, and you might write in the morning, well, I feel kind of manic. Down, in below, I feel, I feel depressed. Whatever it is, write it down. And when you have your diary, you can show that to your psychiatrist, and he or she will say, okay, now I know how a little bit how you're working, and he can choose the right medications for you to help you stabilize. Okay, so that the mood calendar, keep that alongside with your food diary if you keep one. I should, look at me. But I don't. I'm an amateur baker, and unfortunately I eat what I bake, so that's my fault. Okay. Develop a schedule. So important at developing a schedule, because it makes your life rather predictable. You're going to get up at whatever time, say 7:30. You're going to be out of the house by 8:30. You'll be at work at this time. You'll be, so keep that schedule, because that schedule reduces stress, and stress is what sends us reeling into instability, and that's not fun for anybody, especially you. Okay, so developing a schedule. You develop your schedule. You know what? If you're a parent, good luck. Kids are unpredictable. You're going to be picking them up in school, dropping off, picking up at certain times, but they also have extracurricular activities. They may be playing soccer or football or basketball. You can schedule that to a point, but kids are people, and people don't always fit into our schedule. So just make sure you understand that you can't be very dogmatic about your schedule. You have to be a little flexible, because things happen, right? And life comes in and throws us curveballs and weird crap, and we got to deal with it, and it disrupts our schedule. And for some people, it's harder than others, especially if you've got so much on your plate that you can't even think, Which brings me to my next one, sleep hygiene. I hate that term hygiene. It makes me feel dirty somehow. I don't know why. Make sure you get your 7 or 8 hours. Learn how your medications affect you, and by that, there's a strategy where if you're taking a medication and it makes you really really sleepy, ask your doctor if you can take it at night, and that way when you wake up, you've gone through that sleep period, and you wake up more refreshed and ready for your day. Um, That being said, make sure you're taking your medications as prescribed. My own doctor, that I've been seeing for 13 years, if he's told me more than once, if he catches me not taking the prescribed medication correctly, um, he will jump on me, and if I continue, he will drop me as a patient. So um, my doctor requires cooperation and communication, and he is wonderful when you talk to him and you tell him what's going on, because he cares. That's why I've been with him for 13 years. Anyway, make sure you just get your 8 hours, because when you wake up, you can freaking think, okay, and you can handle the challenges that life throws at you day to day. All right, now limit stress. Limit stress. That is really easier said than done, don't you think? Because there's so many things that we have to do during the day. You have to go to work. You have to clean the house. You have to do laundry. There's these mundane things that need to fit into the schedule. And the more you have on the plate, the worse it gets. My suggestion is look at your plate. What can you eliminate? What can you delegate to somebody else? If are your kids old enough to clean up their own room and take those dirty clothes into the hamper? Are they old enough to do that? Make them do it. Um, your husband, you know, is he still leaving his leaving his clothes on the floor rather than putting them in the hamper? You might have a talk with him about that. Um, but I'm joking there. But what I'm truly trying to say is eliminate stress. And, what do you do to eliminate stress? Some people try yoga and it works beautifully. Some people, take a walk, go to the park, fishing, things like that. Um, get yourself a hobby. You know what I'm saying? Start knitting, crocheting, macrame, coloring. Coloring is fabulous for stress relief because you have to think about what colors you're going to use and you focus on that, and somehow your brain gets kind of a rest, and you know what I'm saying, you get a bit of a rest, and stress falls off, and you can think, how can I handle these challenges? I find, me personally, I color, and if I've got a challenge and it's something I have to think about how I'm going to strategize to handle that challenge, I'll do a little bit of coloring for 15 minutes, half hour, and my little brain for some reason comes up with a solution. That's just me. I'm sure you have many tips and tricks on how to relieve stress, but stressors are so important because too much stress will send a bipolar reeling into depression or mania. Okay, even with medication. So it's be responsible, take care of you because you're valuable, you're loved, and you're worth it. And relieve the stress. What can you get rid of? What can you delegate? You know, uh, don't hesitate to get help. Okay. The next one, take your time in making decisions. That's a good one. I'll tell you an example of one that when I did not do this, I had a little bit of money and I had an old car, and the car really needed more repairs than it was worth. So I thought, oh, I'll get a new car. And I'm manic at this point. So instead of, I go to the dealership, and instead of choosing a car that I can afford the payments on, what do? I buy a $30,000 luxury car, $500 a month payment. There's no way I can pay that. And it was repossessed. You know, that's what I get for not taking, going back, breathing, calming down, talking to a friend. You know what I mean? I did everything wrong, and I'm human and I make mistakes, but that's okay. You forgive yourself for those mistakes because we're human, we can't help it. So take your time making decisions, especially the important ones that involve finance or involve family. You know, you may be offended by something a family member or a friend has done, and you're like, I'm just going to cut them out of my life. Blah, blah, blah. You know what? Your friends and family are important. So take a deep breath, breathe, try to see the situation from that person's point of view, and then make your decision. Color before you make a decision. Knit, do something, but make yourself pause before you make that decision. Okay. Um, build a good support group. Um, some of us can do that better than others. I don't have a lot of friends, and the friends that I have know that I'm ill, and there's only like one or two I can call. Um, and of course, I've got my doctor, but sometimes the doctor may not be available, so you can go and talk to those people. Beatty back there, if he could talk, I'd be in trouble, because I say stuff to him sometimes. When things are more down and serious, obviously I call a person, but ramblings of a mad woman, Beatty hears it all. So, yeah, he's my bud. He's my dog. Okay, so we're talking about lowered stress, uh, decision making, support network. Make sure you have people around you can talk to. Real important, guys. Talk, talk, talk. Um, okay, join a support group. Okay, you've built your support system. Now join a support group. Of course, it's kind of weird talking to strangers about something that's pretty much personal. And being diagnosed with a mental illness brings on a lot of painful emotions. There's anger, there's grief, there's uh, frustration, depression with it. I mean, it's scary. But if you can talk to people that experience that, and if you can learn from them and they can learn from you. Support groups are just amazing. I had cervical cancer in 1986, and it's the easiest cancer in the world to cure. It really was. It was in situ, meaning that it wasn't going anywhere. But, I was young and it was terrifying. So I took advantage of going to a support group for cancer patients. Learned so very much. And by the time I wasn't scared after 2 or 3 visits. I just was not terrified because I had learned so very much from those wonderful people there. Um, okay, on to exercise. Obviously, I'm not Rachel McLish, the female bodybuilder. Exercise, I don't like, but I do anyway. It's in the 40s today here in Fort Worth, but when it's warmer, I grab my little dog. Well, I did it again. Grab my little dog Beatty. See, there he is, getting comfortable again. And we go for a walk, and he gets to smell new smells and see things, and I get to get the blood running and the endorphins going. It's a wonderful thing to do, but it's hard to get started. If you're already in a gym and you're using it, man, rock on, more power to you. You rock that. I can't afford a gym, but walking is good. Any exercise is wonderful as long as you're not hurting yourself. Okay. Avoid alcohol and drugs. Okay. My own doctor has informed me that alcohol will send a bipolar person into instability, meaning it will make you depressed. It's a depressant, you know, not good for you. Y'all, I've been homeless. I've helped homeless people get their medications, but many mentally ill people self-medicate to their grief and detriment. Street drugs do not help you, and there's a reason they're illegal. Crack cocaine, powder cocaine, heroin, God, other opiates sold on the streets, and then we've got the alazepam, what I call the alazepam group. You get Xanax bars and all kind of crap on the street. You may not have known that. How I know it, I've been homeless. I know what's out there. Don't self-medicate, and especially if you have your own psychotropic drugs on board, and then you wind up taking something else, even smoking pot, you can make yourself really sick. You really can, believe it or not. Pot is a great thing. It's healing a lot of people, and I'm all for medical marijuana, but it's only appropriate for certain people because it will and has contraindicated with psychotropic medication. And like I said, you can make yourself sick or it can kill you. Okay, so please, please, please take the drugs you're prescribed the way they're prescribed and stay away from the street. Partying is not for us anymore. Okay, take medications as prescribed. I've already gone over that. Um, Make a well-being plan that kind of fits in with your schedule, your routine. Um, Well-being, taking care of your future self is one way to look at it. Um, example for me, I ran out of toothpaste. Stupid, I know, but this is kind of what I'm talking about. I ran out of toothpaste the other day and jumped in the car, went and got it, put it in my little bath bag, and it was there. So the future me can wake up, take a shower, and brush her teeth because she has toothpaste. Um, if you see something coming, prepare for it and have that. That's part of your wellness schedule. What else do they have here? You can also, you make this plan with your psychiatrist or your therapist, and you make sure that the other folks have it. Um, let's see. Yeah, just kind of make sure that the close people that are closest to you in your life know what your scheduling is. And hopefully they'll respect that. Like even in the holidays that, New Year's is coming up, there's parties till, 8 a.m. Uh, you're going to get sleep deprived and you're not going to stick to your routine. So it's going to make it harder. All right, the last thing I've got here is a suicide safety plan. Pick someone you're closest to, somebody you can call when you're feeling in the dumps, someone you can call and say, look, I feel like eating a bullet or I feel like hanging myself. Please get me to the emergency room. I know here in Tarrant County, we have John Peter Smith Hospital. They have the 9th floor for psychiatric patients. And here in Tarrant County, you can go to the 9th floor, tell them the way you're feeling, and they will admit you if there's a bed, and they will help you get stable. Okay. Um, a lot of people are afraid of hospitals. They're afraid of what they'll experience. But I'll tell you what, it's a lot better than killing yourself. Because if you kill yourself, you're not just hurting you, you're hurting everybody around you, whether they're friends, family, work friends, everybody. People get mad, and they don't forgive that. So just know that you're valuable, you're worth it, and you're loved, and you need to call someone before you kill yourself. Now, having said that, if you're feeling bad and you need help, I'm going to put down below links to several different suicide hotlines. I know one for teens helping teens. There's the National Suicide Help Lifeline. I'm going to link that below, and anything else that I run across. I have my support system, and I rarely need to use. In fact, I've never even used the suicide hotline, but I'm going to link it down there for you because the more resources we have, the better off we are. Okay, that was the last of the list. I hope that you're doing well. I hope you're stable. Maybe list down in the comments below if you're curious about another mental illness. Put it down there, and maybe I'll do a series on that, or not a series, but a video on that. Otherwise, you're going to leave it to me, and you may not get the one you want. So, thanks for watching. I hope you're having a great day, and you have a happy new year. Take care.